With all of these new innovations and capabilities that are coming with all of this, what are the risks and threats associated with all of this wireless technology that we're talking about here?
Yeah, it's a great question, and of course, it's always a moving target, right? So,
Hmm.
although wireless technologies bring numerous benefits, they also introduce various risks and threats that organizations and individuals, must be aware of. To mitigate these risks and threats, of course, organizations and individuals should implement strong security measures such
Hmm.
as encryption, authentication, better access control, and of course, intrusion detection systems, and of course, perform regular security audits across their wireless networks and devices to prevent, attackers from, potential unauthorized access and so forth. So some of the risks, or some of the key risks and threats associated with wireless technologies, in particular, include unauthorized access, eavesdropping. It's been around forever. Whether you were, you're still on Wi-Fi 5, that's AC, to deliver AC, or you've moved to Wi-Fi 6, which is AX. Anyway, the point being is eavesdropping. This is where hackers may attempt to intercept wireless communications
Hmm.
to eavesdrop on sensitive information, Nathan,
Hmm.
such as usernames, passwords, confidential data, especially if the data is being transmitted without encryption, right?
Sure.
You also have these things called man-in-the-middle attacks. This is where an attacker may insert themselves between the communicating parties to intercept and manipulate data exchanged between them.
Hmm.
You have man-in-the-middle attacks that can compromise the confidentiality and integrity of the data over this wireless network. So it's a big problem. Wireless networks also suffer from denial of service attacks, DOS attacks, right? This is where an attacker may flood the network with excessive traffic or malicious packets, causing network congestion and rendering services unavailable to legitimate users. So DOS attacks ultimately can disrupt operations and lead to service downtime. Big problem, and it's quite common. Um, you also have rogue access point problems, Nathan.
Hmm.
This is where you have unauthorized access points deployed within your organization, right, within your premise, without authorization. In other words, nobody knows it's there. So rogue
Right.
access points can facilitate unauthorized access to the network and increase the risk of data breaches. It's a huge problem. In fact, it's probably one of the top problems associated with wireless networks in general, because even laptops, Windows 11, Windows 10, they have soft APs built into their laptops, and through again lack of understanding, you can have bridge connections now going from the laptop and creating these wireless access points, and they don't even know what's there. So rogue access points come in different forms, soft APs as well as physical, devices. So that's a huge problem. Another key area that you need to be mindful of within wireless security is SSID spoofing. That's
Okay.
that's the wireless network name that's being advertised. Right? This is where attackers may create a fake wireless network that looks similar to the legitimate network and lures unsuspecting users into connecting to them. So if you have an organization and your SSID is, Gary, to be simple, and I come along and I fire up a fake access point called Gary, but no encryption, and give it a stronger signal, it's very likely you'll connect to me before you connect to a legitimate, access point, and that's kind of called SSID spoofing.
Hmm.
So again, once connected, right, attackers can intercept traffic and launch further attacks into the network against the connected devices on their spoofed SSID rogue access point. So that's another area that customers need to be concerned about. You also have weak encryption issues, right? So you may decide to deploy, Wi-Fi 7 and WPA3, and we'll talk about that a little bit later on. But you have encryption issues. This is where insecure encryption protocols or misconfigurations can weaken the security of the wireless network, making them susceptible to cryptographic attacks that compromise confidentiality of the transmitted data. So that's a huge problem. You also have physical security risks, Nathan. This is where wireless devices such as routers, access points, and IoT devices may be physically accessible to unauthorized individuals, increasing the risks of tampering, theft, or compromise. You also have Bluetooth and NFC vulnerabilities. Wireless technologies like Bluetooth and near-field communications, also known as NFC, may be vulnerable to spoofing, jamming, and sniffing attacks. So at lock.io, LOCH.io, we have a wireless airspace defense white paper that I encourage folks to download. In this document, we explain the new external attack surface of wireless with mitigation strategies specifically to tackle wireless attacks.